What's going on, guys? Aaron Goldsten here. And in this video, we're going to talk about the 4 pillars that make up the perfect business. The 4 pillars that make up the perfect business. And why is this so important? Because just like there are jobs that are better than other jobs, there are businesses that are lower risk, higher return on investment, have a higher chance of being successful, and meet all the other criteria that are needed where you getting started in that business have a lot higher chance of being successful than if you tried out like another type of business. And the reason I can share these with you is I pretty much messed up all of these, and I want to help those, not go through this, not go through kind of the same pain that I went through and not make some of the same mistakes that I made. The last thing you want to do is put like your heart and soul in something and then it not work out, or it be a failure, or something happen that you can't control. So it's very important to understand what these 4 pillars are, and I recommend anytime you think about joining a business, starting a business, doing anything with business or making money, make sure that it meets each of these 4 criteria. It has to meet all 4. Each 4 of these criteria must be met. They need to be met. It needs to be a baseline so you have the highest chance of being successful when getting started and starting a business. So, the first thing that makes up a rock solid, stable business is the business, the fundamentals of the business have to have been around for a while. And what's the importance of this? So I joined an online multi-level marketing company called Empower Network. May have heard of it. I joined them, it was a long time ago. And I joined the company, and they were a brand new company. I mean, they'd been around for like a year. I don't know, maybe a year, 9 months, or 6 months, or something like that. I joined the company, and I put over $5,000 into the company. And I started making money with the company, because I put time and energy into the company. And then they ran into an issue, where they weren't getting paid. And they had a problem getting paid out with their merchant processor. All these problems. Like, they didn't have someone that was paying any of the reps. And then eventually the owner got all mismanaged the company, and the company literally shut down. The company is not around anymore because of that. So number 1, I need a business to be stable. It needs to be stable. It needs to be around for an extended period of time. It doesn't need to be around for a while, but a few years at minimum, and have the structure of have the fundamentals where it's solid. They've worked out all the kinks, so I don't have to work them out. And then I can just kind of run with it and cruise, and life's pretty good. Number 2, the second pillar is there needs to be a blueprint. I need to have a blueprint I can follow. The whole reason I get started in businesses is because I want a way to skip the learning curve and just take actions that I know are going to get me an end result. I don't want to figure out everything on my own. I want to go out there and find a blueprint to copy. So for example, if I was going to start a restaurant, I wouldn't just figure out, oh, what type of food should I serve? What type of menu? I'd want to find restaurants that's been around for a while, like we talked about, that's making money, and just copy what they do. Why is it that there's so many fast food restaurants? There's Wendy's and Arby's and McDonald's and, I guess Taco Bell's considered fast food, and Dairy Queen and Jack in the Box, and a lot of these places sell burgers and French fries and milkshakes. It's kind of all the same stuff. Why is there so many of them? Because that's proven to work. It's proven that people like milkshakes and French fries and milkshakes, French fries, and burgers. So that's just what people do. That's restaurants people start. If I was going to start a restaurant, it'd probably be fast food, and they would have that stuff. I want something that is as copy and paste as possible, so I can just implement it and get results. Guys, I don't want to spend 10 years doing trial and error, trying to figure out what works and what doesn't. I want something I can get involved in, start seeing results right away, and start making money with very fast. Number 3, the 4th pillar that makes up a rock solid business is you have to be able to do it part-time. You want to be able to be working a job and have money come in, and then when you're not working, have a business that you can put some time into and start getting good at that business. Start building out that business. If you sell everything and take out a loan and start a business, that's risky. That's risky. You're putting more pressure on yourself than you need to. You can find there's businesses out there where you can get started working part-time, 1 to 2 hours a day, let's say 10, 15 hours a week, 20 hours a week, and then you can, as the business grows, you can then spend more and more time on that. I got with the eBay thing, I got about 40 students now that are in my my program, and a lot of them, you'll see what they do. They join the program, they start doing it part-time. Then, as their income starts to go up, they then go part-time at their job. Their income goes up more, and then they eventually quit their job. I got 40 people now that have done that. I got about 40 people now. I think it's actually closer to 45. They've went that route, and they now do the eBay business full-time. But they transitioned to it. They weren't risky. They didn't really stay up late worrying if everything was going to come crashing down. You don't have to do all that. That makes for good movies. Maybe that makes for good dramas, but in the real world, you don't have to do that. And of course, it doesn't have to be, the eBay thing. It could be anything. You could go out there and you could get a lawnmower, and on your days off, you could go out, you could try to get people to pay you to cut their lawn. If you're making $10 an hour at your job, and you can get someone to pay you $25, you can get someone to pay you let's say it averages out to $30 an hour, where you're going to cut their lawn and trim up and make everything look pretty. Well, then you build that up, and then once you get enough clients with that, you start working less at your job and you build up your lawn mowing starting company. It's the same thing. And number 4, the 4th pillar is you got to be able to get started with little money. You don't want something you need to throw a lot of money into. You want something that you can put a little bit of money into, and then as it becomes more successful, you can put more and more money into it. Again, having your business grow. You grow your business as your income goes up. Mom is a perfect example. She was a counselor. She was working for a counseling company. She decided to start her own counseling practice to make more money. She makes about 300% more working for herself now. So she went out there and she tried to advertise to get clients. She didn't get any clients for a while. She eventually got 1 or 2, but she kept her bills real low. She didn't go rent out a big office space. The only expense that she really had, I think she had a website. It was like $50 or $100 a year. So the website's like $10 a month. And then whenever she would get a client, she would rent office space from someone and pay him like $10. So let's say the client would give her $100. She would then pay $10 out of that to rent out the space, and she would pocket the other $90. Then over time, she got so many clients that she quit her job. And now she does have an office space that she doesn't rent out hour by hour. She rents it out month by month. But she didn't go get a big building with someone to greet them and a waterfall in the front. She didn't do all that. She started off small, and then as her business grew, she grew with the business, which was very little risk because it's not like she had a bunch of money going out. You want to find the exact same business. You want to find a business that you can get involved in, where you start with very little money, and then as it's more successful, you can keep putting more and more money into it. So, that's what I got for you guys. Those are the 4 pillars that make up the perfect business. And of course, what I recommend is any business you're looking at that you kind of run, you kind of make sure that it meets each of these 4 criteria. That way, you're setting yourself up for success as fast as possible.